Question number 18. I know so little about IT that I don't even know what to ask. So this is actually not a question, it's rather a statement, and it's a really interesting one. So this is a list of questions that recruiters asked me during the most recent tech recruitment program. And this one particular person was transitioning from IT field to IT recruitment. And I know it's very challenging because in IT there are so many different IT terms and so many programming languages, so many frameworks, so many acronyms and whatnot, so many different IT roles. So it's really challenging and often you don't even know where to start, right? You may go to Wikipedia and it's very technical, it's very detailed. You go to YouTube and you don't really know what videos to start watching, and then you start watching one of them and it's just way too detailed because it may be recorded for IT professionals. So I know this is really difficult, and that's also the reason why I have started with the Tech Recruitment Academy, to make it easier for people like you who transition from non-tech recruitment to IT recruitment. And if you are like many of these guys who joined the program, you are also wondering, how can you transition effectively? How can you actually start asking better questions, not me during a training program, but how can you ask better questions hiring managers when you are asking about the job requirement? And how can you ask better questions IT candidates when you are screening them, right? To identify if they are a good match for a particular vacancy or not. So, if I just think about the steps that should get you to a point where you can recruit with confidence, I would recommend you to start with the general IT terminology, which, at first it may seem a little boring and distant, but it will help you across the board. It will help you understand the IT landscape, it will help you talk to IT managers, it will help you talk to the IT candidates. So if you just get the booklet with mind maps, it's this one, and you open it up on the page number 4 and 5, you can see some of these must-know terms. So this is, on a high level, what to start with. What is our software development process? What are programming languages? What are the common programming languages such as PHP, C#, JavaScript, Java? What is a query language like SQL? And it's really, I'm not explaining it. I'm just outlining the structure of these must-know IT terms. And the second is the list of acronyms, which I've analyzed hundreds of job requirements and identified these are the most common. So everything has an end. This list of IT terms also has an end. So that's a good news for you. And then you would learn about the IT roles. So there is, for example, a set of software developers. So there are backend developers, front-end developers, mobile developers, desktop developers, and there are designers, analysts, architects, so different roles within the IT landscape that you would learn about. And then it's just a question what to ask the hiring manager, what to ask a candidate. And for that, I have another guide that will take you step by step through this process. So for example, there is a web developer here. So what do you ask a web developer? There is actually a cheat sheet on the next page with a few pointers about the role, with a little mind map. So, I've been working on this for the last 1 or almost 2 years. I've developed a step-by-step training program that should actually help you really progress step by step. So you don't start, recruiting DevOps engineers at first, because it doesn't really make sense. And this is something that happened several times in the last just year or half year probably only, when I was on calls with some recruiters, and they were asking me hey Michael, can you please tell us how to recruit cybersecurity specialists or DevOps engineers? And then I'm like, okay, so let's organize a training. We hop on a training. And notice they cannot actually understand the basic terminology, right? How can you recruit DevOps engineers or cybersecurity engineers or I don't know, blockchain developers if you don't know the basic terminology, right? So then we usually need to take a few steps back. And this is also what I would recommend to you right now. Like take some time to go through the basics, because it's like an enabler. Also, if you think about medicine, for example, right? They will not let freshers to cut people in some emergency, right? Like they need to go through some studies, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and probably then they go to some more advanced surgeries or whatnot. So this is also similar with IT. Like learn to walk before you run, right? Like crawl before you walk, and then you will even know what to ask about IT. You will slowly unpack all this terminology. So this is my little advice to the person who asked this question, or rather made this statement, to take this step by step. And she was actually present in the program. Like these were the questions that they asked at the beginning. After the first session, I asked them to list questions that they have in their mind based on their experience. So they came up with over 100 questions. So I'm slowly answering them. But for some of you who are just transitioning, you may have the same problem. Like you may not even know what to ask. So I would say also that IT may seem distant and confusing, but as soon as you start noticing some patterns, as soon as you start understanding these differences between backend developers, front-end developers, mobile developers, then you will probably discover that it's really exciting, right? And you will notice some patterns, and you will start understanding those IT professionals. And who knows, maybe you will become a passionate tech recruiter. So if you have this desire to thrive in IT recruitment, if you would like to earn some money on the side as an international tech recruiter, then the best part is to start with this training program that will help to get you to a point where you know what to ask hiring managers, you know what to ask candidates, and you know how to match candidates with those vacancies effectively. And then if you pass the certification, we can also give you access to our job portal, so you can start submitting candidates, and we will split commission. So it's very straightforward, very transparent. You just need to know the IT terminology. You need to understand the IT roles, because otherwise, what's the point of assigning you some clients or jobs to work on, right? So you can join our next cohort that starts in May. So just go to the website techrecruitmentprogram.com and get your ticket, either the standard ticket or the VIP ticket. If you get the VIP ticket, you will also get a certificate, you will get access to our vendor portal, you will get the replays for the next 12 months. So really cool stuff. And I can only encourage you to enter this tech recruitment space like a professional, because it's full of people who know very little about IT. So you can stand out in the crowd really easy. So I'll wrap it up here. I have still a lot of questions to answer. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in our next tech recruitment program.